What's up guys, Intellitech Studios here, and here's a machine you haven't seen in quite a while. It's the Rubbermaid Commercial Products Maxi-Glide BLS, bagless vacuum cleaner powered by Bissell. Also known as a CleanView PowerTrak with a super thick long cord, and that's in a different color, and that's it. So this machine we're going to use to clean the living room today because there's some little bits of cardboard because the potato has recently started chewing on cardboard. I don't know, he's going through something, but either way, so it has a replacement pre-motor filter, which appears to be, it looks like a Hoover wind tunnel filter that's been cut to size, and it does have a standard HEPA filter on the exhaust, which I don't believe this would have came with standard. I think this would have came with just a standard filter because it doesn't say HEPA filter anywhere on the housing like an advertisement. And then we do have our twist and lock dust cup, which likes to get stuck for some reason. For those wondering, I am still, even though I don't use these very often because of the relatively poor filtration, I still am on the hunt for the standard CleanView 8990 model, the black and blue machine where all these yellow and smoked out gray parts are blue, and the standard, square base model, but still with the stretch hose. Because those are the ones I always prefer. I prefer the ones with the square base, but still with the stretch hose. And this one, of course, has the PowerTrak base. So, although, of course, the window is grayed out, probably because it looks nasty after a while using it commercially. Funnily enough, there's a restaurant near me that uses a standard Bissell PowerForce Helix, like the one you buy from Walmart. And for some reason, I guess to not make it look as nasty, because it's in a restaurant, so it's sucking up nasty stuff, they just opened it up and just painted the underside of this all black. So it's just the whole nozzle's just all black. It was kind of weird, but either way, this basically did that from the factory. So basically trying to make it not as noticeable when the thing is filthy, because the only thing you can see is the clear bin, and of course it's not all that clear, but it's just clear enough that you can still see the full line. Now, of course, not very much capacity and not very much filtration, but still a really good deep cleaner at least. Too bad it's going to spit a lot of that dust back into the air, but the original style CleanViews of this design are the first machines that I ever repaired, so I do have a soft spot for them. And this one's one of the very early ones. There's a couple ways you can tell if it's an early style CleanView. If it's got this latch, like the Power Glides, instead of the two tabs like on the later Power Forces, that's a way to tell, although this isn't as good because these like to break. Also, another way to tell is if it came with, although it could have been replaced, the machines originally came with this kind of dusting brush, although this one's a later one, so it probably did come with the combination tool, which I do have somewhere, which just has like a little brush that slides off. That's probably more so what this came with, but the original CleanViews came with this brush, just a standard dusting brush. And then, of course, the standard half-length extension wand, which is actually the standard now, and, the pretty basic crevice tool. I don't remember if this would have came, or I don't know if this commercial one would have came with a different color crevice tool than the consumer ones. Not like it really matters. Of course, double insulated, overheat protection, has a few features that the consumer machines didn't have as prominently. This one's, of course, a 12 amp, model number 9V00, and the serial number indicates that it was made on the 220th day of 2005. And of course, it does have the best stretch hose that these models had, which is the stretch hose that's black and isn't clear, so it doesn't get all nasty from the stuff. Although it does have a clear elbow to let you know something got clogged in this bend piece. Although this is prior to them being twist and snap, it is held on with two screws. And for some reason on these models, the screws are vertical instead of horizontal. But nevertheless, that's how they did it. And of course, we've got the very thick cable that is not grounded, unlike the current Big Green commercial series and sanitary series. So it's a very thick double insulated cord, but also not grounded, strangely enough. I almost bought the bagged version of one of these, which is basically like a Power Force, but unfortunately I wasn't able to get my hands on it. The guy attempted to figure out how to do shipping, and then he just got impatient and just basically told me to screw off. So Didn't get the bagged one, unfortunately, which is the one I actually want more. But I did get a good deal on this. I traded this with another vacuum collector for the red CleanView Special Edition that I had many months, probably a year or two ago. And he traded it for this, which, you know, it seems like an odd trade considering it, you know, that machine didn't have a good motor in it and it was in pretty bad shape. But he wanted to trade it because he didn't want this and very much wanted that. So it worked out for me at least. And as much as I probably would have also preferred to have that CleanView, at the same time, this is, in my opinion, more interesting. So, and it is technically one of two Rubbermaids that I have, as the other Rubbermaid I have is the one that's a SIBO knockoff that doesn't work because that one was, well, a scam. But anyways, so we'll go ahead and give this a quick run. The story behind these is pretty what you'd expect. Rubbermaid used to have a commercial line. Rubbermaid's most popular commercial machines, or most well known, are very much like Sanitaire, Eureka, F&G knockoffs. But again, just like with that MH12 SIBO knockoff that I had, or have, it's still kind of its own design. This is an exception. This is literally just a Bissell. It is literally a Bissell with a different color scheme and a longer cord. It even, of course, advertises the Bissell branding. So it was clearly some kind of partnership that existed at the time that I'm not exactly informed on the details with, but nevertheless, it's still interesting. So we'll go ahead and give this a run. I'm not sure if it's on the second to low setting, which I assume I probably used this on this carpet before, so we'll try it. course, anytime you use one of these, you can just smell that. Like, that's the thing, is like, you can just smell the dust. Like, you can smell it. Every CleanView smells exactly the same. And it definitely leaves nothing to imagination that this is definitely a CleanView. So, and again, referring to the first gen CleanView, of course, because of course they've reused that name 100 times. Filter still looks perfect, though, to be fair. It's probably because there's dust leaking out before it even gets to the filter. But nevertheless, we'll check the pre-motor filter. Okay. To its credit, not really much on there. But the upper tank filter is usually where all that stuff goes. So let's see what it got. Oh wow, okay. So again, the cleaning performance of this machine is, you know, unmistakable. Like, that's a big clump of hair for a relatively small area. You know, there's really not much to complain about there. But, you know, I'd still rather have a PowerGlide Platinum, which I do have, thankfully, although it's not in the best shape. You know, to its credit, I mean, I've seen worse, but the fact that it's that dirty after that small area is kind of sad. You definitely need to wash this. At a minimum, at a bare minimum, you need to wash this every time you empty the bin. Just because of how quickly that gets dirty. And of course, stuff always gets on the bottom of it too. So, yeah, pretty crazy. I also forgot to mention, I think whoever had this before the person who sold to me had it, the front base had busted, so it looks like they glued it, or I don't know if that's glue or if that's like not JB Weld, but whatever like the equivalent to that would be. It might be JB Weld. I didn't think JB Weld was that color. Maybe I'm wrong. Never used it, but nevertheless, it's a great machine in terms of cleaning performance, and this particular commercial one, because of the extra padding that it has in the motor housing, it definitely probably filters better in terms of emissions than the stock CleanView would be my guess. At least that's an assumption. But, you know, it does also appear to be a bit quieter because of the more motor insulation. Doesn't appear to be quite as noisy, but it's obviously not a huge difference. It might be like a couple decibels. But yeah, and just a curiosity, I'll check and look at the hair wrap, which Bissells are usually always pretty good at resisting hair tangles for considering how basic the brush roll is. Yeah, I can see there's some hair in the brush roll kind of sticking out. Nothing too crazy though. There's a little bit of my hair. But, you know, could be worse. I wonder if I should daily drive this for like a week and do a review on it. Probably. Actually might do that. Considering it's usually 2 or 3 days between every video, I mean, I could, after I upload this, I could use this for a few days and report back. Try to fill up this bin, at least. But yeah. So, that's pretty much that. I mean, is there really much else to talk about? There very well may be. But, yeah. If I do daily drive this, I know this dusting brush I'm not really looking forward to. Somewhere I have a new old stock replacement of these, but not this version, the one that later came on the Revolutions and stuff like that. Of course, the PowerGlide Platinum has the standard Power Force style turbo tool, or not turbo tool, but combo tool. Alrighty, well, I think that's pretty much it for now, at least. This was a pretty basic living room vacuuming demo of the Rubbermaid Maxi-Glide BLS, which, as we know, the term BLS stands for borderline licorice salad. So that is the Rubbermaid Maxi-Glide BLS bagless vacuum cleaner. I actually don't know what the BLS stands for. I pretty much think of a different silly random acronym every time, but I actually don't know what it stands for. Maybe bagless system, like bagless system, but that seems kind of weird. Maybe it is bagless system and they just didn't want to call it BS. BLS, yeah. I don't know. It probably means something. Maybe I'll have to look and see if I can find a PDF of the manual. Maybe it'll say what that is. Because I don't think I've seen the manual for this before. I don't even know if you can still find it. I actually haven't thought about that till just now. So I'll probably look afterwards and see. But yeah, so that's pretty much that. Anyways, this is Intellitech Studios signing out with more videos coming very soon. I hope you all have a good one. Peace. And let me know what videos you want to see in the comments section below. Let me know your thoughts on this machine, how much you like these Bissells, how much you hate them. These are obviously pretty popular on my channel, so I try to do plenty of Bissell content. And frankly, after doing a lot of other machines, I kind of want to start using some Bissells again. Just get back to my roots, so to speak, you know? After all, I mean, these machines are what put me on the map. So, anyways, Intellitech Studios signing out. Have a good one. Peace.